Dateline, Amsterdam. My name is David Lee Roth, and this is Holland. This afternoon, we're going to be stopping people on the street, asking them if they're familiar with the famous Dutch band, local heroes that they are. Yes, indeed. Lovely, lovely Holland. Amsterdam. What a sight to behold. Ah, the birds, the clouds, the sky, the people, the scenery. Lovely Amsterdam. Ah, the cars. My name's David Lee Roth, and we're here this afternoon to ask some people about Van Halen. Excuse me. Are you familiar with Van Halen?
Wait, what?
Are you familiar with Van Halen?
I don't know what you mean.
I'd like to order some Van Halen. You're not familiar with it? Well,
I don't know.
Lovely Amsterdam. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Are you familiar with Van Halen? Are you familiar with Van Halen? Wait, where are you? Hey, what's going on here? Excuse me. You familiar with Van Halen?
Welcome. Est-ce que vous parlez français?
Je ne parle pas français.
Oui, je parle
Van Halen?
Je parle mieux français que je parle anglais.
No?
Alors, qu'est-ce que vous désirez? What do you want?
You familiar with Van Halen?
I'm sorry.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is striking further evidence that the French are unfamiliar with Van Halen. We're looking for people who are familiar with Van Halen. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful Amsterdam. Ah, the city of 1,000 dances. Looking for people familiar with the spirit of rock and roll. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Van Halen. Here's some familiar-looking people. Fellas, hey, fellas. I'd like to ask you a few questions here. I'm here in Amsterdam, Holland this afternoon, asking people if they know Van Halen. But just in case you don't, I happen to sell roll-mops right here. Yes, indeed.
roll-mop,
yeah. Van Halen. Van Halen. Van Halen.
Oh,
Van
that
Halen.
means Van Halen.
Van Halen.
Oh, ja, Van Halen.
Oh ja, die twee jongens die naar Amerika zijn gegaan.
Ja, ongeveer 10 jaar geleden zijn in Amsterdam geboren. En ze zijn met twee andere jongens.
Ik heb een nieuwe plaat gehoord, Fair Warning.
Ja, de nieuwe LP.
Ja.
Fantastisch, prima muziek, hè?
Van Halen. Are you familiar with the band?
Huh?
I don't know what you guys are talking about, but
Ik begrijp deze
we're
grote
talking
helemaal
about
niet, hoor.
Van Halen.
Begrijp je hem? Ik begrijp hem niet, hoor.
Oh, he means Van Halen.
Van Halen. Wait a minute. Aren't you the bass player? You're
wait,
Michael
you
Anthony.
look like Dave.
Wait a minute.
You're the
Michael-
drummer.
Aren't
You're
you?
Michael.
You're Dave.
We are Van Halen.
Gee whiz.
Hello. Ooh.
Yeah, I think that was really good. I mean,
Diamond David Lee Roth here with those colorful cut-up cuties Van Halen cruising those kick-ass canals in Amsterdam. Asking a few questions from the guys. Edward, how's it feel to be back in Amsterdam?
Ik geloof dat het de beste stad in de wereld is. Ze hebben de beste bier en de beste rollmops.
Sitting with me directly on my right is the lover boy of the 21st century. A man some people say is Mr. Malibu himself. An unstoppable party machine. Michael Anthony, bass player for Van Halen. How are you this afternoon, Michael?
Oh, I'm quite well right now.
We're cruising the canals. How's the party scene here in Amsterdam, Holland?
Well, let me tell you, I'm thinking of building myself a beach right over here and building a house and calling it Little Malibu.
Well, I'll tell you, Michael, it's been a pressure. Come back again when you don't have so much time.
Where's my hat? What's my hurry?
Directly in front of me is Alex Van Halen, a native of Holland. Alex, a lot of people are saying that Holland is becoming quite a place for rock and roll. Some people, in fact, say it's the world's capital of heavy rock and roll. What do you think about that?
Well, Dave, in de laatste 10 jaar hebben we ongeveer 5 LP's gemaakt. 4 eigenlijk. En we zijn nu aan het werk aan de 5e. We hebben over de hele wereld gespeeld. Maar Holland is een van de beste plaatsen. Isn't that right?
Right! Thanks a lot.
Turn around. Show us who you are.
Gaan we de andere kant op. Wat is dat nog? Oh, there you go. Bring your thing up. Rolling? Sure. Edward Van Halen has stolen the wheel. We're careening madly out of control. Edward, what has seized you to do this? I don't know.
Wat gaan we nou doen?